Welcome to the event. We're really happy that you're here. We're about to go live in just a few moments. But before we lift off, there's a few important things we want to make sure that you're aware of so you get the best possible experience out of this. First of all, the sound current is supremely important to us, the musical experience. So if possible, we really encourage you to use good speakers or headphones to experience the class with. Second, if you have any pre-existing injuries, please take care of yourself, modify as you need to. Don't risk exacerbating an injury because of a yoga exercise. If you have any pre-existing medical conditions and you're not quite sure if this would be good for you, please consult with your primary healthcare practitioner and make sure it's the right thing for you. Also, make yourself relatively comfortable. You can use a cushion, and in fact we encourage you in our seated positions, meditation practices, to use a cushion. It helps lift the heart up, keep the spine straight, and it's more ideal for the flow of energy in the body and for the meditation experience. You can even be sitting in a chair with feet flat on the floor for those of you that are unable to sit in a meditative sitting posture on the floor. Just use a chair, and for many of the exercises that will work perfectly fine. And then lastly, if you're having any problems with the video streaming, try refreshing the page, or if you see a gear icon on the video, adjust your resolution. If you're new to this type of thing, just take care of yourself. If there's something that you don't quite understand, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Everything that needs to click will click after a few times of trying it out. Enjoy the experience. We're about to get started in just a moment.
Good to be here. Thanks, y'all. Well, hi. Hi, everybody at home. Tonight's exciting because we're all coming together in person here in the Catskills, the Menla Mountain Retreat. In and of itself, just coming to this place is always just like nectar. And then we have this like nice, amazing worldwide group hanging out with us from all over the place tonight too. Welcome to everybody. So happy to be here. And this is the beginning of I think what's going to be a really cool adventure. It has to be. And just even tonight, like each one of these sessions, little adventures within themselves, complete in a certain way within themselves. Because mostly, I think it's nice to be reminded of, at least I like to remind myself, that this is pretty much about being happy. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's easy sometimes to really sensationalize the stuff that helps us in such sometimes profound ways. You know what I mean? And that's okay, that's cool. But also like keeping it, I think what I find useful is keeping it very simple. At its base level, keeping things quite simple and remembering that I'm just trying to be happy, that's all. And then I've discovered that in order for me to achieve that, I also need to want you to be happy, which is different than you being happy. I need to want you to be happy. It's a different thing, isn't it? And that's a genuine wish. It's not something that's manufactured because of philosophy, but something that maybe philosophy helps us to shine a light on occasionally, put a lens on something. This is what dharmas are good for. Dharmas are all sorts of things. Dharmas are vehicles. Dharmas is purpose in life. But dharma is also just that which we can't even define it because it's reality itself. And who could define that? None of us can, because that's the total mystery. And that's not what we're trying to define, because it's way more enjoyable to release that urge to try to define something like this, and instead to try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy what life is. Try to enjoy what our life is all about, and that includes the difficult parts. And that doesn't make sense to any rational mind. Enjoy the difficult parts of life. It's way more fun to be grumpy. But then you can enjoy being grumpy. Can't you? Anybody ever enjoyed being grumpy? You know what I mean? So it's staying human, keeping it real, and not allowing ourselves, at least to me, I feel like not allowing myself to take on any type of pretentious disposition when it comes to things like yoga and meditation and dharma practice. Because the main thing is that pretentiousness, or any of these types of things, are the sources of my misery. But there's a difference between pretentiousness and confidence, into knowing our worth, knowing our value, finding our sense of actual genuine royalty even. That's a bit lofty maybe to some minds. But it's not lofty when it becomes your experience. This is what the ascendant is all about. It's a sense of self. And whatever the constellation was on the eastern horizon when each of us took our first breaths, they call that in astrology the first house of self. The first house, the rising sign, or the ascendant, or the lagna, which lagna means like auspicious moment. So you have the auspicious moment of the first breath you took, and whatever was there on the eastern horizon gave a certain definite like patterning to the nervous system and to the basic tone of which everything else emerges out of. Some of us will be more practically minded or business oriented and this type of thing. Some of us will be much more artistically oriented, creatively oriented, intuitively oriented, and so forth and so on. We all have our wirings, None of them are superior to any of the others. That's one of the beautiful things astrology can help us to see, especially if we're using it to see that type of thing. If we're using it just to try to predict if our life is going to get better or not, you won't see those types of things. And that is the basic urge, right, that we all have. We have the natural urge for our life to get better. True? This is the natural desire of happiness. But sometimes we end up doing is we project that sense of happiness onto the idea of, am I going to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Am I going to get married? Am I have a kid? Is my money going to get better? And all those things you can get insights from an astrological horoscope, definitely. But then when that becomes the main kind of emphasis of what astrology is being used for, then it does cloud the vision a little bit. It can cloud the vision if the objective of what we're after is actually to be happy. That's a difference in a yogic way of trying to understand something and to utilize something like astrology or Ayurveda or any of these types of things. So when you are looking at it from that point of view, then I can look at myself and I can notice what my natural tendencies are, my strengths, and also my weaknesses. And you can look at those things, and it can give us insight onto them. But what it can also do is it can cause our minds to get stuck in certain ideas. But this is what the mind is doing in life all the time. It's not a problem of astrology. Our minds are all the time getting stuck in certain narratives about our own sense of what we are, who we are. It's identity. Identity is so important, isn't it? Identity is like the thing that everything else grows off of. And this is the first house of self. A sense of, what am I? What is this? What am I really? What is this really? Because you come here and then you go. So what's going on here? Is it, how important is the fucking boyfriend? It is important. But it's just relatively important. It's not supremely important. It's not to take away the value of relative importance. To have a new love is a beautiful thing. But it's also a beautiful thing when a love falls away, you see. If it's not a beautiful thing when it falls away, then it's actually not a beautiful thing when it comes together either. But love doesn't, of course, ever fall away. But what does fall away? The temporary expressions of it. And so how can it be beautiful on both sides? Because it's real love. That's not as grasping on things so tightly that it doesn't allow it to be whatever it is. Does that make sense at all? I think it does. And so this is, I think, the important way to spend time. I find it so useful. This is what I like to think of, and I very much experience as recalibration. Recalibrate. Make sure my life force is centered in my nervous system. Know what I'm all about. Have some sense of what my life is all about. And then you can connect with another. And then you can have a sense of what the sense of purpose is, dharma. Because you're connected to you. But the tendency is to go on an outward journey to try to figure that thing out of, how do I feel good? How do I feel happy? And so it's a little cliche. What's the inward journey? It is, but what does that even mean? What does it mean and what does it feel like to concentrate life force in the nervous system to where the mind comes into a space of peace? Not peace because I'm finally doing a retreat. Not peace because I'm doing yoga practice even. Not peace because I'm at the Menla Mountain retreat. But peace because I'm able to access it. And I can actually access it from anywhere, in any situation in my life. But these experiences help us to teach us how to do that. It's the type of skill that we develop by spending several days in a row doing something. So that's what I think is important, is to not over-contextualize the time and space that it's being done in and say, well, I only experience this type of stuff when I do the immersion. But this is something that we can all experience more and more daily in our lives. Of course, it's not going to feel like Menla Mountain Retreat when we go back to our homes with all our responsibilities and so forth. That's unrealistic. But we don't want it to. The whole idea in the more tantric approach like that is that actually you're turning everything into your retreat hut. That's the idea of the yogis, that you're actually just turning your body into your retreat hut, because you're going to leave it one day. For now, it's your retreat hut. And you got some work to do. There's something to be lived here. There's creativity to be a part of. I think if I could, my feeling about life at this point, so far, which is extremely limited, is that life is mostly about participating in creativity. And through that participation, we can learn what life is all about in a way that is not dependent on things going up or things coming down, or it's disturbed by things coming down. Wouldn't we think that, well, this would be good skills to learn, the ability to access real sense of, when I say peace, what I also mean is confidence. Because when you're truly at peace, you'll have confidence. Confidence in what, even though you don't totally understand it. Who knows? I can't. This thing's a mystery, which is the beauty of it. My whole, even body and mind is a mystery. It's a total trip. But we can experience it like an instrument, like we would tune an instrument, and then we can feel our confidence come forth. Life force centered in the nervous systems, the central channel. Yogis call it Shushmana. And this is what we call it Kundalini Yoga. Because it's through that process of centering life force in the center channel, central nervous system, Shushmana, you can use those terms interchangeably, really. Subtle nervous system and then physical nervous system. So when more and more our life forces gradually, it's no rush. You can't force it. You can't make it go any faster than it's going to go. But the important thing is to be in the process, be in the experience, be taking care of ourselves, just like we take care of our teeth, we take care of our hair, we take care of all our things. Those things are going to one day be and you won't be able to take care of them. They're going to be done for. So it might as well, there is some, I think, common sense in making sure that you're taking care of the things that will continue on. Why doesn't that make sense? And so that's what yoga is all about, to me. It's taking care of our minds, taking care of our prana, our chi, so that we can experience our more substantive nature on an ongoing basis, and life becomes a lot more fun in the spirit of the wonderful Tenzin Bob, who I just want to mention his name because we're really in his home. And we're really in His Holiness the Dalai Lama's home, is what he would tell us here at Menla Mountain Retreat. And for those of you who are here in person tomorrow morning, we'll be greeted by Michael Burbank, who is a beautiful brother of mine. And for those of us here, he'll orient us all to where we are and the magic of where we are. For now, tonight, we're going to do a journey. We're gonna really get the ship a sail. And we're going to not just talk about this stuff and think about this stuff, but now let's put it into the body. Let's make it feel like something. Let's give ourselves the experience of feeling good, feeling happy. Because once that mind gets a little bit more of what they call santok or santosha, contentment. But it's not contentment because everything's going well. It's contentment that is more of we could think of it as like an electromagnetic field. An electromagnetic type of environment that helps the mind stay in a content. Because you can't will your mind into contentment, can you? It's not very easy. Come on, mind. This isn't how the mind operates. But if we work with the more subtle energies, the chi, the prana, and we get it to be well relaxed. Because when the life force is concentrated in the central nervous system, it tends to move with steady rhythm. It's slow, it's rhythmic. You feel like yourself. Organs have good vitality. Tissue layers have good vitality. Immune system knows what's going on. So, if the life force is more what we could call the peripheral, and operating more in the periphery of our organism, the peripheral nervous system, the mind is going to have a much more difficult time maintaining its content. And that because prana like that is non-rhythmic, it's arrhythmic. It's quick. It's like a gusty wind as opposed to a slow, steady wind. And so if you get a gusty wind, it causes the fire to go off. 1 second, the wind's blowing and the fire's like, and then for a while there's no wind at all and it just dwindles out. This is called vata in Ayurveda. And so vata is when more of the periphery of our organism, of our mind and body is being stimulated predominantly. What does that look like in our lives? It looks like we're feeling insecure. We're worrying about our future. This is natural. We all experience it, don't we? It's very human to feel insecure. There's nothing wrong with it. What the yogi does is takes that feeling of insecurity and turns it into their sword. That helps them to discover more of what they really are. Because if there's some sort of insecurity or sense of self-doubt, it's energy that can be used. But when it's perpetuated as self-doubt, it becomes more destructive. But if we're allowed to feel, if we have a compassion enough for our mind and body and our own predicament, which I believe is essential to the whole thing, if we have compassion to our mind, body, and our predicament, then we can feel our insecurities and not deny them because we feel like we shouldn't have them. But we can embrace the fact that our mind has the tendency to feel insecure, and then you can do something about it. But if we never get to the point where we just embrace that our mind has a tendency to feel insecure, and there's nothing wrong with us, then you can actually use that. You can feel the emotion and flip that emotion, insecurity, anger, depression even. They all can be worked with, and that's what this work is all about. Because we all have some of it. Of course we do. We all have some of all of it, because we all have the 5 elements. All of our body is made up of earth, and our minds, earth, water, fire, air, and space. And so just like the seasons changing, just like sometimes you have stormy weather, and sometimes you have really crystal clear sunshine, and sometimes it's dreary, and sometimes as bright as it can be and chipper. You like that word, chipper? All of this is also our inner weather. Yoga practice, using Vedic yogic astrology, using Ayurveda and Kundalini Yoga, is a brilliant type of we shouldn't really even call it a fusion, because it's not a fusion. They're just all part of the same thing. It's more in the Western world, of course, that things are, I should just say modern world, because the Western world in a certain way has become the modern world across the board for the most part. That we take things apart, and then there's Ayurveda over here, and astrology over here, and yoga over here, and tantra over here, but really this is all the same tree. And so to look at things through the lens of Ayurveda, we can bring healing to ourselves. To look at things through a lens of astrology, we can shine light on the circumstances of our life so that we can improve them. That's a good thing. Isn't that worth being able to do? Isn't it worth being able to access some peace no matter where you are, no matter what's going on, no matter how dreary the season becomes, that season of our life? These are essential. So it's worth spending a few days. It's not realistic for it to happen in an evening. It's not even realistic, of course, for it to happen in several days, but what we can do in several days is we can create a substantive momentum for ourselves. we can really plug into the source of our happiness and confidence and creativity, and we can gain good perspective on our lives to take our baby steps. Because baby steps, I think, is the way. It's way more fun. You're not in a rush. Aries people, it's hard to take baby steps, though. So it's all good, you know? We're here to have fun. We're here to move our bodies. We're going to have a beautiful night. In one evening, though, even in just one evening, it can be a flip the whole thing around in a certain way. It's like, yeah, this is what I'm all about. Because we already know it. It's not teaching anything. It's just reminding ourselves. That's the word Simran that we often use, and it's usually translated as like repetition of a mantra, Simran. But or sometimes it's translated as remembering the name. But it's just remembering is what it is. It's remembering what we are. That's what the mantra Sat Nam is all about. Sat Nam. Sat is translated as truth. Nam is name. Truth is your real name. What does this even mean? Truth is, then it'll translate as truth is your identity. Truth is my identity. What does this mean? It doesn't even make sense. It does, though, of course. But it's insufficient because it's making reference to something that can't be defined with normal language. So this is why our real identity, to strengthen our sense of self, our sense of inner confidence, relies on tapping into something deeper that you can't explain or experience with the thinking, rational mind alone. This is why we want to enter into nice, beautiful, meditative zones where we can then be creative. And we can be creative in the wavelength of our own personal dharmas, and then help contribute to the bigger dharma of life, which is for all of this to get happier, and for people and beings to be happier. And that's what our mission is, to be happier, and for help others be happier, because those two quests are absolutely intertwined. They can't be done separately from each other, not successfully. So that's a nice thing, isn't it? And so let's begin, don't you think? Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks everybody at home for being here. Let's take the hands into the prayer pose. Inhale deep. Exhale. You could make a little heat in your hands. It doesn't have to be much. But essentially, what is it that we're doing when we do that? We're getting in touch with our more sensitive energy. We're creating a little bit of an environment through warmth to be able to not just feel our hands, but to feel our prana, to feel our chi. And here, in a certain way, the ritual begins of this journey, tonight's journey, but also this entire next several days. And I would really encourage you to take a moment to close your eyes down and tune in to what it is that is desiring to express itself, to come into your life right now. What would you like? What is that magic that wants to be born through your life? What is that deeper, prosperous feeling? And maybe you can't even explain it. Maybe you couldn't even write it down. Maybe you can. But what is that feeling? And what is your intention for what you would like to use this opportunity of time and space? Time is so precious. There's only so much of it. And here we have a most fortunate circumstance to have the time and space to tune the instrument, to live our lives more fully. Yeah, it's great. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And through your nose, exhale. Inhale deeply. Now suspend the breath in for a moment. Keep your heart lifted, shoulder blades released, pelvic floor is lifted, and the eye gaze closes and softens. And then through your nose, exhale. There could be a little nice pressure on the palms as you deep inhale through your nose. And a nice, subtle, yet present pressure in the two palms, like it's coordination, hemispheres of the brains, helping to encourage the centering of the prana in the body. Suspension of the mind, suspension of the breath, spaciousness is the idea. Exhale. You may not be able to achieve spaciousness right now. It's no big deal. Just keep going. Inhale. At any time tonight or for the next few days, you may feel like, I don't know if I'm doing this well. I don't know if it's working. Exhale. You're doing it fantastic. Just keep going, however it is you're doing it. Suspend the breath in. Relax your shoulder blades. Relax your rib cage even. Could the mind relax and become much more spacious? And then exhale. And how about again? And even the pelvic floor lifts up a little bit, like rectum, sex organ, navel area, perineum up and in. But then your upper body, torso, relaxes, suspended. And then even the mind is relaxed. Who would have believed it? And again, through your nose, exhale. Inhale very deep. Suspension, spacious. Exhale. Now keep that posture and see if you can just let your breath flow totally naturally without you manipulating it, making it deeper, or analyzing it in any way. Just follow to the best of your ability the current of the breath with your mind. And see if for just even 60 seconds your mind will cooperate with this objective. Follow the current, the natural current of your breath with your mind. Not making it deeper. Allow your body to breathe however it naturally wants to, but through the nose. Don't let it breathe through the mouth. Keep the heart lifted, not slouching, but also not uptight. Keep your chest soft, your shoulder blades release. And then the mind can be soft. You can feel what it feels to keep your chest soft, and then create the same feeling in your mind, soft. And then you could even put a wish in that one. You could wish for your life or for some loved one, whatever comes to your heart, prayer, however you think about it. Something good, Upload positive energy into the whole field. Uploading and then downloading something positive will also be coming. This is the physics of things. But to bring the mind into spaciousness, one can more successfully create a conscious upload, and can then also more consciously create a conscious download. What do we download? It's called our intuition, the wisdom we need for our life at this time. Not concerned about predicting the future, being present with how things are. Follow the mind, follow the breath with the mind. And we'll put in just a few moments of sound on top of that breath where it vibrates like a because we're going to shake up the mind a little, meaning we're not going to even listen to it. We're just going to create a sound vibration that in a certain way kind of shakes up the more superficial thought streams that are more on the surface of the mind. They're important for us, but they're like, what color shoes am I going to wear? This type of thing. What are we going to have for dinner? How do we get to the conference hall? Why isn't this web page loading? Whatever. They use a mantra. You have the more power for your mind. your ability to concentrate, your ability to bring yourself into the space that you would like to live your life from. And that's the power. But power without love is an imbalanced thing. So then it goes, Namo. Namo is a feeling of love, a feeling of devotion, a feeling of being humbled, essentially. Have you ever been, like, say, in a tornado or a hurricane or like a powerful ocean? It's called feeling humble. You feel devotional to Mother Earth. Like this, Prakriti. They say this, she is the mother whose womb this whole creation is born. What we can call like Gaia or Mother Earth. This type of thing. So when you go, Namo, it's a resonance of the chest, of the fourth chakra. Gurudev. Inside of that Mother Nature is an intelligence, isn't it? There's some sort of supreme intelligence that runs this whole thing. What is rotating the earth? What is it that kind of grows our bodies in? What created that majestic sunset? What is putting all the stars in the firmament and the rotation of the planets and the orbits? And that's Gurudev. There's a wisdom behind the whole thing that's innate to life itself. And Gurudev is in an effort to say, let me be in good alignment with that. So that's like what we say, tuning the instrument. Nothing better than a mantra to tune the mind-body sound current. Gurudev. Fantastic. All right, shall we move? Come on to the hands and knees. Let's start at that pace like earlier, but strong. Got it. Yep. Y'all know cat-cow. So, like you see Chandra? Or if you're not familiar with the exercises, first make your fingers stretched out wide. Yeah? And it's an inhale as the head is coming up, and exhale as the head is coming down. Isn't it fantastic? Just make your spine nice and supple. Just put the breath in the body. Work to start to establish a rhythm that feels good to you, making a suppleness of the spine. Inhale as the head is coming up, and exhaling as the head is coming down. And the breath is always through your nose, unless we say specifically it's through the mouth. Sometimes that will be the case. But if we don't say anything at all, the breath is through the nose. Inhaling, the head is up. Exhaling, the head is down. And the best thing, I think, is to start to establish a groove, a rhythm. And put your breath and your body together with rhythm. Any rhythm is fine. It's not about speed. It's more about love and making the body feel enlivened and comfortable. Feeling good in the body. It's not just mechanical, it's also sensual because it's self-compassion. It has the love touch. It's quite a thing to live in a human body. Let us nurture ourselves and enliven ourselves. And not let our time go by without appreciation. All of this life like clouds floating across the sky. Like a vivid rainbow that then at some point disappears. All of the things of our life are coming and going. We put ourselves in rhythm and dwell in the space between all the coming and all the going. Deeper the breath, please. Hit that rhythm. Can you hit that rhythm? And once you hit that rhythm, can you smooth it out? Can you get lost in it? Can you make it more of like a dance? But with a concentrated structure. Cat-cow. It's not some other kriya, it's cat-cow. With every exhale, the spine is arching up, and also the pelvis is tucking under, and it's massaging your lower digestive organs and nurturing the lower pelvic bowl, through which where the prana is always becoming congested. Just like sometimes our food is getting congested and we feel constipation. Or sometimes we're leaking the energy, just like sometimes when the digestive system is leaking its energy. And then you try to get it to regulate and normalize back into a rhythm. Could we keep ourselves in rhythm? Could every day we maybe dance a little bit? Is it too much to ask? You just put on a good song and create some rhythm. Or at least you can do some cat-cow. And then a breath of fire. Inhale, head is up. Exhale, head is down. Push the head down, arch the spine up. Good. And relax for a moment, the forehead to the floor, the butt back to the heels if you can. Relax into that type of position that you can actually relax a little. Your butt can come off the floor if your hips wouldn't do that. But see if for just a few moments we can soften our hearts, make our minds nice and spacious. Spacious is receptive. Receptive actually mostly to our own intuition. Not receptive to somebody else's ideas, although we may be receptive. But it will be processed, we want it, through our own intuitive sense. Each of us are the masters of our own domain. Because only we have the intelligence for our own life. We're equipped with it. This is how we come. This is part of our brilliance, our hidden brilliance, is the shining intelligence of you. Uniquely, this is the ascendant. Can you feel the shining intelligence of Mother Nature herself? Do you remember the indigenous peoples who dwelled upon this land, wherever land that you are? They had nice communion with the shining intelligence, the love supreme. This is where the joy and the fun and the glory of our life is. And this shining intelligence is us. We're a part of it. We're not separated from it. We are it. And this is called tuning the instrument. Come sitting up on the heels. You know, like this, hands on your lap. Right on the sit bones. Everybody at home? Everybody's doing good? Chest lifted. Chin is slightly in. Shoulder blades release. The eyes will go the third eye. Eyes closed, soften. The gaze softens, but lifts where the root of the nose meets the skull bone. Between the two eyebrows. It's the space. It's nothing you need to try to grip onto, or am I seeing it or am I not? Just generally, to start, relax the gaze to that third eye space, and that's a lifting through the chest, lifting through the sternum. It's an inhale lift. As you lift, can you feel your sit bones press down in towards the earth? And the heart lifts. It's an elongation. It becomes smooth. It has a groove. It has a rhythm. Like sit, nam, sit, nam, sit. This is why in the Kundalini Yoga, we put a mantra on the breath to give the mental current concentration, thus helping to concentrate life for central nervous system. And then everything doesn't have to work as hard to maintain balance. It's called helping out our bodies and mind, putting a little bit of the work in. Saturn is becoming happy. And as this course is starting, Saturn happens to be in exact conjunction with the moon this eve, which does indicate a little bit of work, but the good kind of work. As that's all Saturn is really asking, put in the work. Do the work of our life. And try not to shy away from it, even though sometimes maybe we will. Put the breath into the body with the rhythm. I'm seeing so many beautiful friends that I didn't even know was here. It's really great. For another 30 seconds, deepen the breath, but not aggressive. It's just make your rhythm pocket deeper. Give it something a little more. Bring a little more prana into it. And now your deepest inhale, suspension of the breath, and then suspension of the mind. Lift a bit through your pelvic floor, you know, and relax, exhale. That's really nice. And come back, easy pose, cross-legged. And you know you can do these in a chair, most of them. If so, your feet are flat on the floor. Ideally, there's no socks or shoes on, because you're working with your sensitive energy, and you want to feel. You want to feel through your feet and your toes. But maybe you need to warm up a little more. Whatever. Okay, hands are here. Pelvic floor is lifted. Chest is lifted. Shoulder blades released. Chin is in. And then... Could you close your eyes? Forget about how you might look, if possible, for a little bit, just for a little bit. And put the breath into the body and have a little bit of fun. And fun is sometimes going more subtle and deep and getting into the mystery current of life, the mystic. Inhale, center. Suspension of the breath. Will you please lift the mulaband? Pelvic floor lifted, navel comes up and in. Mind softened, spacious. Heart is like a field of magnetism. Exhale. Why not? It's called give it a try. See if your experience verifies it. And see if it's fun. See if we enjoy it. Put the hands on the knees. And then... it's an inhale up, exhale, release. You can go... and just let the shoulders release. Lord knows we have stress on our shoulders. But we're not upset about it. We're kind of relaxed. More and more so. Because if we're too uptight about getting rid of our uptightness, then you stay on the hamster wheel of uptightness. So then a certain way we have to be pretty relaxed even about our tensions. Because we love ourselves just like we are. Not in a rush to change something. We're actually on the journey of experiencing the brilliance just as we are. Like we need to do something else. It's always there, always been there, always will be there. God bless you. Inhale. Exhale. I feel like when someone sneezes in our culture, it's the only time you can universally bless someone. And it's societally acceptable to bless someone. never miss an opportunity for a sneeze, to say Gesundheit. Stretch your legs out wide. Feet are flexed. And energy in your toes. Y'all like putting energy up in your toes? Come on, flex your feet. Put energy in your toes. It helps. Inhale to the center. Turn to either side, exhale down. Now fill your lungs up. Inhale. And then exhale down. Don't worry about touching your toes. Put a little more attention on every inhale. Really fill your lungs. Give yourself a deep, nurturing breath. And every exhale, hinge from your navel. Lead with your heart. And just open yourself from where you are. Not trying to rush the process. Add compassion to your power. So the power is the Shakti of the breath. Put the prana in the body. Vibrate your magnetism. This is what prana, life force, chi is, magnetism. Put some energy in the thing. Give something to our life. Bring in the prosperity. My experience is we absolutely have that power. Now inhale, center. And open the legs a little wider. And then continue. It's opening up the life nerve, the sciatic. You don't want to overextend it. We tend to do that, especially when you're younger. But then when you get older and that thing's getting inflamed, you learn not to do that. So you might as well try to learn before the inflamed happens. And be more gentle with yourself, if you can. But those of us with so much pitta prakriti, we just have to inflame ourselves. We have to prove to ourselves. No amount of wisdom teaching will do. To the center, inhale. Feels good. Exhale, fold forward. You relax. Shake your legs out. The same tempo, no faster. So you're going to interlock, come back sitting easy pose. You're going to interlock your hands with the Jupiter fingers up, okay? Right thumb cross over the left thumb cross over the right, it doesn't matter. The hands are interlocked, but Jupiter is the index finger. Guru is Jupiter. Wisdom and prosperity. And then you hold it just below the tip of your nose. You keep your chest lifted. And the shoulder blades released. You feel the posture. It has a stature to it, a type of regal feel and disposition. Heart held high. You have a confidence. It's beautiful. The inhalation is called a segmented breath. It's a 4-part inhale through the nose, like. And then the exhale is in 1 part. So it'll be a keep going. Now hold the position and inhale. And exhale. So when you're doing this segmented breath, it's like you're partitioning the inhalation into 4 segments. So it's 1 inhale. You have to give it some energy, to pull it in like that. And to get the exhale to go out in 1 stroke to that timed rhythm, you have to give it something from your diaphragm. So that's why I say the navel lifts up. The exhale. Then. Eyes are 9/10 closed. And you should be able to see the tips of the Jupiter fingers through the 1/10 opening of the gaze, a downward looking gaze, but the heart is lifted. The index tips are just under the nose. The shoulder blades release down. The elbows are out. There's a gentle lift to the pelvic floor if possible. This is a pranayama kriya to stimulate the pituitary gland and the intuitive mind. The pituitary is the master gland, the Ajna chakra, the commanding center of the human organism. Its mythology is a lotus with 2 petals. The negative and positive current, the masculine and the feminine energies, the Ida and the Pingala, the lunar and solar channels. The good and the bad. The pleasures and the pain. The anterior and posterior pituitary. It's the neutralizing center, activating the meditative psyche. A whole new field of electromagnetism. And the mind can maybe start to feel its santok, inner content, its actual blissfulness. The yogis know that the real natural state of the mind is called bliss. listen, rhythm. Finish every exhale. Sa, da, na, ma. Sa, da, na, ma. Sa. Definitely start to jump. The subconscious becomes stimulated through the prana. That's why the rhythm, back and back into the rhythm. That means the transformation process has begun. It's fantastic. It's a gentle transformation process that leaves us feeling so nice. So you just go through it. Thoughts come, let them be. Try not to feel badly about them. Then they'll relax more. Back to the rhythm. Emotions come. Allow them, welcome them. You feel agitation. Let that agitation be agitated a little bit. But then back into the rhythm. And it is process itself. All emotions are in a digestive process, metabolization, energy in motion, endeavoring actually to become real love. But we have to let it be. Almost there. Inhale and stretch your arms out to the side like this. Keep the breath in. Fingers are firm. Exhale. Now deep inhale. Fingers tight. Now tighten the muscles around your spine. Hold the position and exhale. Again, deepest inhale. Suspend the breath. Fingers are nice and tight. Lift through the pelvic floor. Soften the heart, but now squeeze the muscles of the spine. Make a T-square. Hold the position. Through your nose, exhale. Everybody at home, concentrate. Inhale. Fingers tight, firm. Tighten the spine. Lift through the pelvic floor. Fantastic. Exhale and relax. Now, let the body breathe whatever it wants to breathe, just like you were doing earlier. We'll stretch the legs out in just a moment, but for just a moment, let your body breathe naturally and follow the current of the breath and see if now also with the mind, along with the current of the breath, you can feel the current of the chi, the current of the prana. Is our very life force, our life-giving force. Stretch your legs out if you wish. Take some water. Then Gyan Mudra, that's a wisdom seal. We're almost through this next sequence of kriyas. To get our navel energy moving a little bit, to get the ship sailing, to feel good, is going to require some attention. It'll be so worth it. I think you'll find. And the meditation's really beautiful. So to the best of the ability, whatever else is going on, how about leave it elsewhere? Just for a limited period of time. To where you can really pay attention to your own magnetic energy. Uplift ourselves. Okay? Gyan Mudra, index finger to the thumb. Palms facing up, chest lifted, shoulder blades down. And you inhale. And it goes
It's an exhale, inhale of equal strength, like a... Through the nose rhythm. And go. Come on. You give it some power, but it's not an aggressive power, you see. It's substantive rhythm. If you can create a substantive rhythm to make your exhale and inhale of equal strength, it's called concentrating the prana. And oh my mind, feel happy. You become aware, and you can experience and feel the gifts of our life. Not gifts that are coming, gifts that are the gifts. The gift to be alive. And your experience takes away all the cliche of that, because it's a genuine feeling. We can feel a sense of what we are, what we're all about. We can feel the majesty of life. Absolutely. What is the moon rising in the evening? The stars, how they're held in the firmament. The breeze as it blows through the trees. The tides of the ocean swelling out and contracting back in. The tensions of the seasons. The heat of the midsummer. The bone cold winter. Bless you. Exhale deep. Come onto your backs, please. Come onto your backs, please. Legs together. If it strains your low back, put your hands underneath your butt. Show 'em, Chandi. Put the hands underneath the butt. Flat or in fist, palm side facing down. If it strains your lower back, do that. Don't strain your lower back. That's no fun. Support yourself. Take care of your own body. Everybody knows their own body best, but we're all still learning about our bodies too, so we pay attention. We feel sensitive, but we also want to strengthen. So we find the point that we can strengthen and we go from there, yeah? And we give it something. Take a deep inhale. Exhale fully. Take another deep inhale. Exhale fully. In a moment, the legs will come 6 to 12 inches, and the head 6 to 12 inches. The chest is lifted up, the eyes are on the toes. It's a whole ordeal. But make your mind relax into it if you can, and give it a try. This is called activating your navel point. Just below your belly button, here's the power center of your prana. Take a deep inhale. Fully exhale. Come into the stretch pose. Deep inhale. There we go. Let's go. Hold the position. Inhale deep. Navel in. Pelvic floor lifted up. Navel in. Relax it. Good. Relax, relax. Let your arms out. Like really fake at least like you're really relaxing. Let your arms out. Let your legs out. Everybody at home, how y'all doing? Feels really good in here. Yes. From what I can see, I bet the vibe is coming across. So beautiful. Take a deep inhale. Fully exhale. Bring the legs back together. Round number 2, friends. We have a whole journey ahead of us. We're gonna need the navel. Okay? Not yet though. I know it's exciting, but not quite yet. Inhale deep. Fully exhale. Come into the posture. Inhale deeply. Chest lifted. Lift up through the pelvic floor and move now the navel. Inhale deeply. Oh, navel in deep. Relax it. I don't know if y'all been doing very much stretch pose lately. I mean, my confidence level isn't high. But it's looking good, I must say. It is looking good. Everybody looks so beautiful. I do have the Zoom room open too. Everybody's looking pretty beautiful. Those of you at home, like, best sound system you got, pretty please. Or like some fantastic earphones or something, you know. Okay, round 3. Good things always come in 3s. Isn't that a saying? Inhale, please, deeply. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Fully exhale. Come into this stretch pose. Now everything with the rhythm. see if the mind can just relax. You've done it. You know how it works. It's hard. It's not hard. Whatever. Rhythm. Balance is coming now. You put the rhythm of the Agni. That's why it's not aggressive, but it's substantive. Give it some vitality. And so if you equalize the exhalation and inhalation, and you soften by releasing your shoulder blades, and try and soften the mind, and go into the rhythm. Deeply and relax. And the beautiful part about journeying through this whole week is because tomorrow it's a whole session on Mars. It's such an important part of our life. But it's not a session on just Mars. Warrior in the shaman means Aries and Scorpio. It's experiencing our life through the context of Mars, through the context of the third chakra, through the context of our get up and go, our willpower or lack thereof. And how do you put that willpower in the direction of the Dharma? In other words, in the direction of creating real happiness. How can you use the Mars power for that? And to experience the goals you would like to experience, your aspirations. Because without taking a little bit of harnessing our own energy, which means taking some power back for your mind, not allowing the mind to over-dominate us, but being like a benevolent master of your mind. You know how much a dog loves their master? This is what the mind can be like. We can train it to want to be happy when we put it in the current of a real purpose in our life. Hug the knees to the chest and rock and roll again. And come up to the easy pose. The Sukhasana, easy pose. For a lot of us, it's the least easy pose because our knees hurt, our hips hurt. It's called Sukhasana. Sukhasana, Sukha is good space. You're creating good space. So that means Sukhasana isn't just sitting with your legs crossed. It's sitting with your legs crossed,
but your heart lifted and softened, the shoulder blades released. Just a couple more of these exercises. It's creating good space for the prana to flow. The thumbs are out. The fingers are tucked in. The shoulder blades are released. Extend out through the arms. Inhale deeply. And now 3 minutes. The first minute was more like a warm-up minute. Now the real 3 minutes. Where you're listening, listen to the breath sound, and you might put the mantra on top of it. It's the harmonization of the 5 tattvas, earth, water, fire, air, space, through the Panch Shabad, the 5 elements mantra. Deeply into the rhythm. Gaze softens, third eye. With the breath. Now see if you can visualize an arc of light connecting the 2 thumbs. See if you can even imagine your whole central channel, Shushmana, central nervous system, like a luminous central channel, a certain type of intelligence, luminosity. I think it's a love intelligence, really. And see if you can feel like your heart center emanating kind of beams, rays of light in all directions, like as a genuine expression of your kindness and of your happiness and your radiance, your regal, beautiful brilliance. This is you. Shine the light. Embody. Keep the shoulder blades released down the back. Extend out through the arms. There's the threshold to pass through. You don't want to do it. The mind doesn't want to do it. But we have the desire to shine, to radiate, to be happy. And then it was a great act of love. You might stay the course with the rhythm, last little bit. Bring your thumb tips touching, open the fingers. Make your fingers tight like steel. Inhale some more. Touch the ceiling. Release the shoulder blades. Hold the position. Exhale. Deepest inhale. Release the shoulder blades. Exhale. One last time, please. Inhale deep. And release. Exhale. Now, take your thumb to the base of your pinky finger and then squeeze the thumb like this. O-shaped puckered mouth. And the breath like this. Like a backstroke over the head. It needs to cross over, the idea it should cross over the crown of the head, above the top of the head. And it's an O-shaped puckered rhythm, mouth. And you might even think of something that frustrates you in your life, maybe even something that has been making you feel angry. And you allow yourself to feel that. It's like making your fire energy unstuck, bioavailable. It's not amplifying your anger. It's allowing it to be felt. That which is under the surface, that which gets stuck in the liver, in the blood, and in the subconscious mind. And it's to purify through the frustration. You know, release the tension. Allow yourself to feel the frustration. If it's there. In any case, it's called shining. It's called like a pranic windshield wiper. The whole psyche travels over the head, you know. It's called the arc line. You see it depicted in the Tibetan iconography. Over the various deities. You also see it in the Orthodox Christian and Catholic iconography. Where'd all that come from, I wonder? Come on, with the breath, I don't know, a little bit is like you're still halfway only here. Let's go. I mean, the folks at home are killing it. Keep going and shine your light. You know what I mean? Bring forth the real you. That's the ascendant. That's the first house of self. Meditative, soft, third eye gaze. Now it's called shining the light. Clearing away all the cobwebs that just gather naturally over time. Sometimes we lose our real sense of what we really are. Bring forth the real inner vitality for your nervous system, for your organs. We're here to live life, and we want to live life. So we need a body to do it with, and a mind that cooperates. not to find your hidden brilliance. It becomes everything that's everywhere. You can't ever get away from that. Nor would we ever want to. It's our very architecture. It's our essence. 60 seconds. I can feel the fire. You can feel it? Yes. Keep going, almost there. With the breath. Inhale deep through your mouth. Interlock your hands, palms facing up. Stretch up. Hold the position through your mouth. Exhale. Now, through your mouth, deep inhale. Close your eyes and feel yourself and see yourself enveloped in a beautiful, brilliant field of light. And then hold the position and like a cannon through your puckered mouth, exhale. 2 more times. Now feel yourself dwelling, emanating a light. You're dwelling in, emanating the light. Dwelling within and emanating a beautiful, brilliant light. One more time, deepest inhale. Full presence. Like a field of light. Relax. Come for a few minutes onto your backs. Relax, relax, relax. some warmth, rub the soles of the feet. Stimulate the nerve endings. And then cat stretch to either side. Hug the knees to the chest. Rock a couple of times. Come into the meditative position for this final Kriya meditation. Yoni Kriya. Thumb tips come touching. Pinky tips come touching. Thumb tips come touching. Pinky tips come touching. The other three fingers stretch away from you and out, engage. So it creates like the vulva, the yoni. The other three fingers are out. You hold it at the heart center. Chest is lifted, shoulder blades are down, chin is slightly in. Your eyes are slightly closed and gazing down towards the tip of your nose. The mouth comes into puckered lips and goes like you're drinking the prana, like you're drinking the breath, prana. And then you give it a nice exhalation. At the end of your exhalation, using your diaphragm, your navel, to help push the last bit of breath out. And you, to the best of your ability, for these few little minutes, you see if you can hold your body perfectly still in the position. You're creating the magnetic field within the context of the Kriya. This is how the Kriya works. Inhale. And through your nose, exhale. Hold the body steady. Let the eyes close mostly down. And then look down towards the tip of the nose. And drink the breath like it's nectar. Drink the breath like it's prosperity. Drink the breath like it's creativity and vitality. Drink the breath like it's a type of almost making love with nature herself. Being able to fill your lungs, oxygenate your blood, give your mind blissfulness. To the best of your ability, stay steady. And as distracting thoughts, ideas, emotions arise, just allow them and let them pass along. No need to push them away. No need to feel any way about them. Start to drink the breath once again. Bring your focal point back to the gaze. Tip of the nose. You may not be able to keep it very long, but that process of noticing the distractions and bringing the mind back to the point of focus, drinking the breath. Tip of the nose, gaze. Steadiness of posture, spaciousness of mind is what causes the prana life force to concentrate into the center channel. And thus the Kundalini process begins.
fingers, our other fingers, are stretched away. They're like little antennae. Try to keep them erect. The ascendant for this experience, the hidden brilliance, is a Bharani Nakshatra, represented by the vulva, the yoni. It's the portal of life, of creativity. It's the most sacred thing. Tip of the nose. With every inhalation, gathering your life's energy. And with every exhalation, letting go of that which is no longer needed or no longer serving you. It purifies the bloodstream, so the tissues become more vital. And when the tissues become more vital, our inner sense of self, our inner sense of being, feels safe. Safe to be ourselves. And we experience some confidence. Drink the life force prana. Hypnotically breathe. Perfectly still for the final few moments.
Be like an emptied vessel, like an antenna. Now hold the position. Inhale. Suspend the breath, suspend the mind, spacious. Hold the position and exhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Now inhale. Totally spacious suspension. Exhale. Relax. And either stay in the meditative state or take your hands into the prayer pose. Whatever you feel. But bring yourself back into your aspiration, your life intention. And the interwovenness we have with all of life, all our relationships. All the domains of our life. Our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with the food we eat and the money we experience, our relationship with our siblings or our close friends, our relationship with our mother in our homes. And where do we find ourselves at home? Our foundations of our happiness, relationship with our creativity and our children, our service in the world, the hard work that sometimes we don't want to do but is our service, our significant others and partners of all sorts. Changes happening in our lives, our transformations, the great difficulties that shake things up in our life. Our teachers, our aspirations for wealth, and the wealth of Dharma, our great sense of transcendent purpose. Our careers and our activities in the world, and our relationship to the masses of people, to our circles of friends, to our goals and the fruits of all our labor, and to our most subtle nature. One day we'll have to shed these bodies. But what is this subtlety that continues on? What is that majesty? So we can put a good wish and prayerfulness into all the domains of our life. You can go around the wheel like that. But not only for our own lives, we're wishing that also for each other. That's creativity. Inhale. And exhale. Stretch your arms out like this and shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And voila. Good job. We have set the ship a sail, I think, nicely. And we've got going. This is Miss Shannon Lee Hayden on cello. Mr. Jared May on bass. And Mr. Devin Ashley on percussion. And we have the great pleasure of being all together this week. What a treat. And those of you at home, thanks so much for being here. And those of you at home that haven't joined for the whole week, hope you can come. And, you know, it's not always possible that we always have the opportunity to block this much time off for ourselves. When we do, that's a great gift. But also you can do these things over time, too. And the idea is as we're going through, say tomorrow morning, Aries, Scorpio, Mars energy, and then what's tomorrow afternoon, I don't even know. But as we go through all the different domains, it's traveling through the architecture of the human psyche, the human body-mind field, and tuning it all up step by step. But also, it's, if you think about it as like harmonization with those planetary archetypes. Everybody has Saturn somewhere when they were born. You couldn't have been born somewhere at any point in time and just Saturn wasn't there. He's always there. And all of it is. So that means, in other words, we all have some sort of work in our life. And then we can, when we bring ourselves into this space, we get just much deeper perspective on what that work is all about, and helps everything just kind of fall into place. It's very much worth doing, and so I'm very excited. I'm not up here like, let me show y'all how to do it. I'm doing it with you. I'm in the experience with you, because the idea is to not just think about Venus and talk about Venus abstractly, only somewhat, but it's to experience Venus. It's to bring her alive in our bodies, our mind, and in the room and wherever. And then Saturday night, we're going to have a dance party, too. There's so many good things that are going to be happening. I'm sure there's going to be a little dancing as we go through the week, because, and the point being, this is not some uptight, heavy thing. We're also here to have fun and to have a good time, but to do the work to where we can have real fun. And that's the fun of experiencing our genuine bliss, our genuine happiness, not using bliss in some cheesy, fluffy form. But bliss is that thing that doesn't it's the joy and the happiness we have that doesn't get weaker when difficult things happen. In fact, it gets carved and polished when difficult things happen. So that's the vibes. Okay? That's what's up. So everybody at home, hope you will continue with us in one form of another. I don't remember. It's still a good deal until tomorrow night. Still a really good deal. And there's a video that's coming on right after we cut it here in a moment that'll give you all the details on that. But let's seal this thing together. Take your hands into prayer pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Aki. Thank you, team. Thank you, Menla, for having us here. Thank you, Life Force Academy. We'll meet everybody as the days go along, and but that's good for tonight. Thank you, everybody. Satnam. Kappa, will you give me my iPod? And Hi, greetings, my friends. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I hope you had an amazing experience. There's something really important I want to share with you before we close the night together. And I want to invite you to be a part of the rest of this thing. You've got a taste of it now. You kind of can feel what it's about. You've probably heard what it's about. And to do it one night like this, fantastic, amazing. Thank you for being here. To do this, to go through this whole journey experience with us is life-changing. Maybe you have the ability to where all the rest starting for the next session that's starting tomorrow, and then we go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we end Sunday afternoon. Maybe you have the space in your life. You can be a part of it live with us, but even if you can't, you can take it like a home course. Say you do 1 session per week or 2 sessions per week. There's 2 tracks in which you can do this immersion experience. You can either do it live like an immersion with us, or you can carve another weekend out later and do the whole immersion in one sitting, in one powerful, transformative, potent experience, or you can do that transformative, potent experience over a series of weeks. It's your choice, but I want to invite you to be a part of it and to take this opportunity to do it, to be a part of this immersion, which, by the way, you have lifetime access to have this experience, the hidden brilliance, going through the 9 planets, the 12 constellations, starting next with Mars, your ambitious energy, and Venus, your style of giving and receiving love, Mercury, the power to speak, your power of your communication, power of your word, Saturn, your great work, the great work of your life and your ability to follow through on that, Jupiter, your prosperity, your joy, your expansiveness, and so on and so forth. We're tuning the instrument. This is not just learning intellectually. This is actually tuning all of those archetypes of our psyche, of our body, and our mind in a fantastic way. Kundalini yoga practices, Dharma teaching, incredible music. So this is something that you own. If you join it, you own. And it's just $650. It's something you can revisit again and again. But if you get in right now and within the next 24 hours, it's only $389. That's over 40% off right now. It's a really good deal. And we really want you to be a part of it. And 24 hours from the time that the live webcast, the live opening night ended, the price goes up to its regular price at $650. You can still get in after that, but it's $650. If you get in right now, it's only $389. It's lifetime access. So before we close the night formally, I wanted to encourage you, if you're feeling the vibes, to join in. There's also a payment plan if that makes it easier for you to do that. All the info's on the page here. You can learn all about it. And even if you can't move forward with us, so happy that you are here this evening. And thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for sharing your energy with us. And looking forward to those of you who can move forward and are feeling the vibe, feeling motivated, feeling the inspiration, feeling intuitively that this would be really good for you. Jump in, click through, super easy, just takes a moment to register and you're in. And again, you can do it live with us or you can do it on any schedule you wish. You have the course, you'll have lifetime access. Many blessings, my friends. Satnam.